Hello and welcome. In this video, we'll explore one of the most beautiful and profound series in art history, Claude Monet's Water Lilies. These paintings are not just flowers floating on a pond. They are a window into the artist's mind, his peace, his sorrow, and his endless search for light and color. Claude Monet was born in 1840 in Paris and grew up in Le Havre, by the sea. He is considered the father of Impressionism. Though he never wanted to lead any movement, he simply wanted to paint light in the moment, what the eye truly sees, not what the mind imagines. As a young man, Monet was stubborn and often poor. He rejected academic art, where everything had to be precise and noble. Together with friends like Renoir and Sisley, he began painting outdoors, directly from nature and sunlight. That was the birth of Impressionism. The name came from a critic's mockery of Monet's painting Impression, Sunrise, but that very painting gave the movement its name. Monet was never fully satisfied. He was always searching for the perfect light. He painted the same subjects, haystacks, cathedrals, gardens, at different times of day and in different weather. He once said, "I want to capture the impression of a moment, not its details." In 1883, Monet discovered a place that changed everything, the village of Giverny in Normandy. He bought a house there and created his own world, a garden filled with bridges, willows, Japanese plants, and of course, water lilies. He didn't just paint nature, he built it himself. The garden at Giverny was unique. Monet brought plants from all over the world, bamboos, irises, azaleas, and the water lilies he ordered from Joseph Bory-Latour Marliac's nursery. He even built a Japanese-style bridge that appears in many of his paintings. The garden became the center of his life. He designed it so that the light and colors would change with the time of day and the seasons. Nature as a living painting. Not everyone approved. Locals were worried that his exotic lilies might spread into the nearby river, but Monet followed his own path. He secretly diverted water into his pond and planted the lilies anyway. When inspectors arrived, the pond was already in full bloom. Monet simply smiled and said, "I wanted beauty." From this came the Water Lilies series, over 250 paintings created across more than 20 years. They are not landscapes, but inner landscapes, filled with calm, silence, but also loneliness and longing. Monet's life was not without pain. His wife Alice died, as did his son Jean. He suffered from depression and even destroyed some of his own paintings in frustration. Yet he kept painting, even as cataracts blurred his vision. Those later works, where shapes fade and colors blend, became his masterpieces. When you step into a room surrounded by Monet's water lilies, the world seems to go quiet. There is no horizon, no sky, no shore, only water, light, and color. Monet no longer wanted to depict a place, but an experience. That fleeting moment when you look at the surface of water and see the sky reflected within it. In these paintings, water becomes like the surface of the soul. It reflects both light and shadow. Sometimes it is calm and clear, sometimes dark and full of movement, like the human mind itself. The lilies float on the surface like thoughts, fragile yet part of nature's eternal rhythm. Among the most famous works is the Japanese bridge, showing the curved bridge in Monet's garden, surrounded by willows and lilies. The bridge seems to lead nowhere, a symbolic link between two worlds, the real and the imagined. In Water Lilies, morning, the world is soft and hazy, the water almost still, like the first breath of dawn. In the clouds, the lilies nearly vanish, and the pond becomes a reflection of the sky itself. And in the Weeping Willow, painted during World War I, the mood darkens. The drooping branches express grief, yet even in the deep greens, blues, and violets, there remains a quiet hope. Through these works, Monet showed how nature could speak its own language. He didn't need people in his paintings. Water, light, and color were enough to express everything he wished to say. In 1918, after the First World War ended, Monet donated a large part of his Water Lily series to the French state. He wanted it to be a symbol of peace, a silent offering after so much destruction. The paintings were later installed in the Musée de l'Orangerie in Paris, in 8 oval rooms designed by Monet himself. He called it a sanctuary of peaceful meditation. In his later years, blue and violet tones dominated his canvases. They speak of sadness, but also of reflection and inner calm. As his eyesight faded, Monet said, "I have learned to see without my eyes." Perhaps that is why his final works feel dreamlike, visions coming from within. Water Lilies is more than a series of paintings. It is a reflection of life itself: birth, growth, loss, and renewal. Monet was a perfectionist. If the light was not right, he would cut or burn the canvas. It's said he destroyed more than 30 Water Lilies paintings before an exhibition, yet the ones that survived changed art history forever. His final monumental works, some over 6 meters wide, dissolve form entirely into pure color and movement. Many see them as early steps toward abstract art, even before the term existed. As the war ended, Monet was old and ill, but he wanted to leave a gift to the world. He said, "I don't want words or monuments. I want peace." And so came his gift to France: 8 vast Water Lilies panels that together form the Temple of Peace at the Orangerie. Monet's garden still lives in Giverny. When you visit, you can see the same bridge, the same lilies, the same play of light. Over a century later, his art feels more relevant than ever. He didn't try to change the world with words, but by teaching us how to see. Monet's art reminds us that beauty is not loud. It lives in the way light touches water, in the way colors shift in an instant, in the quiet breath of nature. He taught us to pause, to observe, to see. Today, in a world full of noise and haste, his work still whispers to us, "Look slower. Notice the colors. See how life reflects life, just as the sky reflects in the water." Monet believed that nature was a living being, breathing with us. He saw all of us as part of the same reflection. Perhaps that's why his Water Lilies feel timeless. They don't belong to one era, one person, or one country. They belong to everyone who stops to look. So next time you see a painting of water lilies, pause for a moment. Look at them as Monet did, not just with your eyes, but with your heart. Maybe you'll see your own reflection in them. What do you see in Monet's water lilies? Do they feel like peace, sorrow, or a dream to you? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you won't miss future art videos. Thank you for taking a moment to pause for beauty. And remember, Juan, as Monet believed, light is always there if you only look long enough.